Good morning, DCC cooking class. Saul back again for another at-home edition of the Dunrobin Community Cooking Class. All right, so we have two things on the menu today. We have the coronation chicken and we have the damper flatbread. Now, I thought that instead of starting with the coronation chicken salad, seeing as there's no cooking involved, we could start with the damper flatbread, and then while that's cooking, we could prepare the coronation chicken. So let's start off with the damper flatbread. So for this one, what you're gonna need is you're gonna need flour, sugar, butter, milk, and oil. You're also gonna need measuring spoons, a mixing bowl, rolling pin, frying pan, and a lifter. So the first step is placing a half a cup of flour, which I've conveniently laid out for myself, right into the mixing bowl. Followed by a teaspoon of sugar, which again, I have measured out for myself right here. Then what we're gonna do is we're going to put a teaspoon of butter. So I'm gonna keep the teaspoon that I have right here. I'm gonna take my butter out here. There we go. Dora's gonna have a snack. Okay, I'm gonna just put this, so much for the apron. I'm just gonna put this into the bowl. If I can get it out of the measuring spoon now. There we go, into the bowl. Now from there, I'm just gonna wash my hands so I don't get butter all over everything. There we go. Okay, so once I've done that, then I'm gonna add a half a cup of milk. So I have the measuring cup from before. I'm gonna measure it over my bowl, just in case that happened and I accidentally spill some. So I'm measuring over my bowl. That's just about a half a cup, and I'm pouring that in. Once I've done that, all together until it forms a dough. Let's try it. And for this, I'm gonna use my whisk. And I like to hold it in one arm, kind of like I'm carrying a football. That way I really get to mix it all in there. And also I get to flex my biceps a little bit. Make sure that while you're doing this, you're beating all the chunks out of it. And if you have an egg beater, you might be able to use it, depending on how much you want to have to clean up after. I'm mixing it all up. It's looking pretty good, but could use a couple more stirs. All right, I think I have a dough-like texture. So you gotta get it until it's all more than pasty. Whew. Ooh, wait. Mixing dough is hard work. It's smelling so good. It's smelling so good. Anybody else's forearms getting right now? Okay, use a spoon to get this dough mixture out of my whisk. And I'll continue mixing with the spoon because now we're cooking. No pun intended. I'm gonna warn everyone now that you're gonna need a bit more flour. Okay, so now you're gonna need your rolling pin and your chopping board. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab a little bit of flour and I'm just going to sprinkle it onto the chopping board so that my dough doesn't stick to the chopping board. Okay, I'm gonna take my dough out of the bowl. I'm gonna put it onto the chopping board just like that. Okay, now again, you may need to, I'm gonna put that in the sink and make sure I wash it. You may need to add a little bit more flour to the mix. Just sprinkle a little bit on top like that. Okay. And then from there, you won't have all this dough stuck to your hands like I do. Put some flour, rub your hands together, and boom, clean-ish. All right, so I'm gonna put this down and I'm gonna just kind of flatten it out with my fingers a little bit before I roll it. From there, I'm ready to roll it into a ball. Okay, just kind of rolling it into a ball. I'm then going to place it on my chopping board, and then I'm going to roll it out until it's nice and flat, just like a pita bread almost. Nice and thin. Make sure it's nice and thin all the way around because we want to make sure that it cooks evenly. Right? We don't want to have a thick part and a thin part and then have the thin part cook way faster and possibly even burn. Okay, so once I'm done rolling it out, I've got a nice thin flatbread now. I'm going to move over to the burner here. So what we're going to do, it says on the instructions here, put a teaspoon of oil into the frying pan. Place the thinly rolled dough into the frying pan for 4 minutes, flip the dough, and fry for another 4 minutes. So, I'm first of all going to get my timer ready. So my timer is going to be 4 minutes, and then I'm going to turn on to a medium setting. I'm going to uncork the oil. Oh, man, that's tough. Okay, now I'm going to put a little bit of oil in my pan. And remember what I was saying last time, that olive oil, you can spread it by just swirling the pan around, getting lots of oil all over the pan. Okay, now from there, now that it's set, I'm going to place the rolled dough, the thin dough, into the pan. So I'm going to lift it up very carefully, making sure that I don't make a hole in it. Hopefully. There we go, that was graceful-ish. Okay, and I'm gonna place it into the pan, hopefully more flatly than I did. All right, so we're gonna let that go for 4 minutes. So I'm gonna turn my timer on for 4 minutes and start. Okay, now I'm going to give my hands a quick wash and we'll get started on the coronation chicken. And now for the coronation chicken. All right, so for this one, you're gonna need mayonnaise. You're gonna need Greek yogurt. You're gonna need curry powder. You're gonna need a green onion, a piece of dried mango, cooked chicken, lettuce, and fresh cilantro. You're also gonna need a mixing bowl, measuring spoons, a knife, chopping board, and a plate. So, mix 1 tablespoon of mayonnaise with 1 tablespoon of Greek yogurt. So 1 tablespoon of mayonnaise. This is a brand new bottle, so I know I've got the nice sound coming out of it. Right into my mixing bowl. There we go. And now I've got a tablespoon of Greek yogurt. So I took a pause just to wash my spoon so that I wouldn't be mixing the Greek yogurt with the mayonnaise. Even though it's going to be mixed in this bowl, I don't want them to be mixed inside the actual jar themselves. Okay, now once the yogurt's in there, we're going to want to put some curry powder. And I know I have some curry powder right here. And we're going to want to put half of a teaspoon. So that's a very small amount. Because this is a quarter right here, I'm going to put 2 quarters, because 2 quarters makes a half. Yes, I'm using my apron well today. All right, after that, we're going to slice up 1 green onion. I've got a nice sharp knife here, and I'm going to chop a green onion. Oh, my oven's going off, and you know what that means. That means that it's time to flip the flatbread. So I'm going to grab my lifter, and I'm going to use, I'm going to put one hand on the handle, one hand on the lifter, and I'm going to get under my flatbread, and I'm going to flip it over. Whoops. Okay, take 2. I'm going to put my lifter underneath, lift it, and flip it back into the pan. Now we have to set another 4 minutes. Good, and we'll wait for that to cook. Back to the green onion until that starts chiming again. Everything smells so good. Oh my goodness. There we go. I'm just going to throw the ends out here because they dried out just a little bit. Okay, now I'm going to put that green onion into the bowl. What's next here? Now we've got, 1 piece of dried mango. So I've got some mango right here. I'm going to open it up. Now my question is, how did they get the mango like this? Every time I try to even cut a mango, I just give up. I just skin it and just eat it in my hand because, anyways, they must have special tools for that. All right, oh no, we haven't cut it yet. Cut up, slice it all up, being very careful of our fingers. If we put the very tip of our fingers in, that way we won't cut ourselves because the knife will only be able to touch our fingernails. Not that we want to cut our fingernails, but it's going to be safer than our skin. All right, so we'll stay safe that way. Cutting up that dried mango. Or maybe you have fresh mango, who knows? I love me some fresh mango. There we go. Put that in to the bowl as well. All right, next, what are we gonna do? The dried mango and add it to the bowl. Shred the chicken. Now for this, you're gonna actually need a fork. All right, so I'm gonna take my dried chicken, my cooked chicken, and I'm going to shred it up. So I'm gonna show you how to do that now. You can use 2 forks for this actually. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take 1 fork and we're going to put it in the end of the chicken like this. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the other fork and we're just, Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the other fork and we're just going to pull in the opposite direction, just like that. This chicken seems to be coming apart pretty well, pretty easily I should say. Just like that, very gently, because if we go too hard, then it's gonna come apart like I was doing before. And we want it to actually be shredded, so we want it to look like a bunch of threads coming out of the chicken. That flatbread is smelling good. And that's time on the flatbread. So I'm gonna put a stop to that, and I'm gonna turn my burner completely off. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the I'm gonna take the flatbread and I'm gonna check the underside to make sure it's not burnt. Just like that. Oh my goodness, look at that. That is just amazing. Okay, now I'm gonna make sure that I move the pan off of the burner so that it doesn't burn. And I'm gonna make sure I warn people that this is a hot surface. Okay, you can leave the pan on, but in my case, I'm gonna take it off just so that it doesn't burn. But you make sure you warn people, this is a hot surface. No, Thor's trying to get my chicken. Okay, so I'm gonna shred, just like that. Okay, I've got lots of chicken because I'm a chicken lover. I need lots of protein in my diet. You wanna know how much protein I eat, guys? I need to eat 1 gram of protein per kilogram of body weight that I weigh. To maintain, that's just to maintain my muscles. Not that I have huge muscles, but trying to help maintain the muscles that I have. Oh, this one's shredding really well. Let's get a close up of that. And editing, of course. Look at that, shredding super well. Just into small shreds. Put that all into the bowl now. Oh my goodness, that is gonna be so delicious. Shred a 1/4 head of lettuce. So I had a little bit of extra chicken, so I might add a little bit of extra lettuce, because there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, does this knife look big enough? No. I'm gonna grab my big knife, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna shred down one side of the head. So I've got like slices of lettuce going on. And I think maybe another slice should suffice. Maybe one more slice. Now, once I've got this sliced off, as you can see, that's about 1/4 of the head. It's alive! Okay, now we're back to chopping, so I'm just gonna put my hand, because it's clean, because I washed them, over the lettuce, and I'm gonna chop up what I took off. Making sure I'm being very careful of my fingers, and I'm shredding up the lettuce like so. And that goes into the bowl. Oh no, wait, no, it doesn't go into the bowl. I'm gonna place this lettuce right onto that plate. Look at that. Just like that. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mix up that chicken mixture with all the ingredients that we put in at the beginning. Oh my goodness, that just smells absolutely scrumptious. Now what am I gonna do? Oh, well, I'm gonna cascade, using that word again. I'm gonna cascade that chicken mixture onto the plate, and I'm gonna try and do it evenly so that we get it all over. Oh my goodness, that is just scrumptious. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna push that a little bit up. Now I'm gonna take my fresh cilantro. I'm gonna take a nice piece of it here, and I'm going to actually twist my cilantro. I'm gonna twist it off. Instead of chopping it, I'm gonna twist and sprinkle. And I'm gonna sprinkle a little bit on top, yes, but I'm gonna try and put some around. And twisting it just brings out the scent. Oh, that just smells so good. Last thing, team, I'm gonna get another plate. I'm gonna place my flatbread onto that plate. I'm gonna put it on this side because it looks better. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the flatbread, I'm gonna fold it in two. I'm gonna break it, and I'm gonna place it around just underneath my lettuce. Lettuce, sit and eat. And that is your coronation chicken salad with your damper flatbread. Thank you so much for joining me again this week. It has been an absolute pleasure cooking with you guys at home until, of course, we can cook together again at the community center. But I hope everyone has an awesome weekend. Happy Sunday. We'll see you on Zoom.